continue with our discussions, term biochemistry was coined or published by Newbird in 1903 from a Greek word. Bios means knife and chymos means juice. Okay? The juice refers to the gastric juice. Okay? It's not the tongue juice, ha? It is a gastric juice that is needed for the digestion of the stomach. So one of the earliest treatises or writings in biochemistry or published biochemistry was the book of organic chemistry. That's why in organic chemistry we study also different structures, and don't forget our principles involved in the organic chemistry. These applications to physiology, the study of the functions and study of the diseases known as pathology by Justus von Liebig, who introduced the concept of metabolism, because functions of our body and diseases is related to the metabolism. If there is, there was, or there is, or there are abnormal metabolic process in our body, so there will we expect that there is what we call a problem in the functions, and even diseases or infections affects our body already because of that abnormal metabolic pathway. Next, modern biochemistry is perhaps the most rapidly developing subject in medicine. Sample is the gene therapy using adenovirus. Okay, the adenovirus, my dear student, it is a dormant virus, act as a carrier of the gene or a cell that is coming from the healthy individual introduced to the patients. So this is known to be genetic therapy. Okay, DNA recombination technologies can now be transferred from one person to another. That is known to be gene therapy. You have to cure a cancer patient or genetic diseases, so it needs also a gene or tissue extracted from another healthy individual to correct or to treat that certain diseases. So it involves the study of biochemistry. Why? Because the gene, it is the cell, and the cell contains nucleic acids. It contains genetic material. Okay? It contains proteins. Normal proteins will going to correct the abnormal proteins of the person having genetic disease or cancer, for example. So that is biochemistry study. Next, knowledge of pharmaceutical biochemistry is essential to all life science. Pharmacology, pharmacokinetics or kinetics, pharmacy rests sound knowledge of biochemistry and physiology. In particular, most drugs are metabolized by enzymatic catalyzed reaction or enzyme catalyzed reactions. So that's why in pharmacokinetics we will study different pathways wherein the enzymes that we study in biochemistry will be applied to your pharmacology and pharmacokinetics. That's how important biochemistry or pharmaceutical biochemistry. Because when I handle subject biochemistry, I continue pharmacology and pharmacokinetics in order to students to understand. Okay? So, I don't know what happened today, di ba? So, we go with poisons. So, biochemical processes. This is the subject matter of toxicology also. Okay? What is the difference between the poison and the drug? It's a dose. And when the drug becomes a poison or toxic, it will affect the entire cell processes. Okay? Biochemical approaches are being used increasingly to study basic aspects of pathology, study of diseases, inflammations, cell injury and cancer. So, for example, inflammations. Who is the mediator of inflammations? It is the fats. There are a lot of mediators. Leukotrienes, phospholipids in our body. It is the mediator of inflammations. Okay? Next, many workers in microbiology, zoology, botany employ biochemical approaches almost exclusively. These relationships are not surprising because life, we know it, depends on the biochemical reaction and processes. Life on Earth, from plants to the smallest living structures, human beings, depends on the biochemical reactions. If the biochemical reactions of our body stops, life of the person stops also. And now, that is already considered to be dead person. Okay? So what are the biomolecules? This is our biohuman body. This is known to be the DNA. structure, or the double helix, for example. So it contains 99% 6 elements: oxygen, carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, calcium, and phosphorus. 60% of our body contains water, 15% proteins, 15% lipids, 2% carbohydrates, and 8% minerals. Why 2% carbohydrates? Because carbohydrates are utilized as energy in our body. We eat rice, we eat lot of carbohydrates that enters our body. It is utilized and metabolized, and there is generation of energy. That's why 2% only for carbohydrate. This is the general structure of carbohydrates. Next, molecular structure of living organisms in alphabet order. So composed of what? 20 amino acids, 2 purines, pyrimidines, sugars, glucose, and ribose, palmitate, glycerol, and choline. So there is an example of the biomolecules. Next, order of hierarchy, meaning from highest to lowest order of the biomolecules are covalently linked with each other. When we say covalently, the macromolecules, glucose to glycogen, amino acids to proteins, they are being linked. So there's equal sharing of what? Electrons. That is why they are covalently linked with each other.